Hello everyone and welcome back to So Many Games Little Time and our top 100. Today we're going to do 40 to 31 and I'm Joachim and that's
Evangelos.
And of course you know by now. If you don't, you're never going to know. Alright, so 40 to 31, I suggest we just get started because you've seen the intro many times or skipped it many times already, so why bother?
Yeah, I would skip ahead.
You can skip it.
Just skip to my part.
Okay. That was the end. Goodbye.
40.
I'm sure it's going to be way ahead of your list. Much higher. It's Merchants and Marauders.
Ah, yes.
It's, for me, still probably the best pirate game made. And it's the best, I know I said Western Legend earlier, but it's probably the best sandbox game. The reason why I think it's only 40 is mostly because the downtime. It's a little clunky. It's a little convoluted. The battle system is a little unrefined. I think it's a little difficult to follow, or it's the opposite of streamlined. It's not streamlined at all. It just feels like it could have been polished a little bit more in certain places. I think if they came up with a second edition, it would probably be far better. But when you play it, man, it tells stories. It is fun. You really do feel like you could do anything in this world.
I'm not 100% sure I agree on the battle stuff and the clunkiness, but I think my biggest question is how long has it been since you played it?
It's been a while. It's been a couple of year or two.
Couple of years, yeah.
But I don't know. I just feel that battles can be smoother, in my opinion.
Yeah, true. But then I like but I'll talk about it when it's my turn, I guess. Oh. But it's definitely on my list as well. Yeah. I think it's one of my longest owned games, even.
Yeah, it's a great game. It's
basically sandbox, right? Be a pirate. Go on.
It's literally that, right? And it's just you feel like you're on an adventure, and even just being a simple merchant of pick up and deliver, it's fun.
Yeah, for sure.
And the AI boats flying around, sailing around, coming after you. It's just, again, and the interaction's great. I think it's just, I feel it's a little too long.
The treasure chest, also the treasure chests as well.
That's
so you can put your money in there and so on.
That's cool.
But also, like you said, it's a little bit too long because they made the mistake, which a lot of games don't make anymore, is that you can do, like if you have a port action during your turn and it's not your last action of your turn, it can take a while because you can do like 8 or 10 things or whatever. So they say as a rule when you play, when you do a port action, it is your last action. Otherwise, so you can do it while somebody else does their turn.
But there's rumors of another edition coming out, and I think it'll be far better.
Well, yeah, I hope so. Have you painted that one? I guess not.
Not yet, just the boats, right?
Yeah.
We'll get around to eventually.
Yeah, eventually. 2029. Okay. All right, so my number 40. I don't know if you like this, actually. I have no idea.
Probably not.
Maybe not. My number 40 is Scythe.
I do like it. I do like it. It's not on my list, though.
It is on my list. I only bought it like a month ago or 2 months ago. It's still in shrink. But I played it with a friend's copy. And then I played it on Steam, got all the achievements, all of them. And now I sometimes play it on my phone, but I just wanted to have it, and I'm gonna keep buying all the stuff until I have everything. And then I think when there's people who know how to play, I'll break it out. I don't know if I really want to introduce it to new people or whatever, because I'm used to playing with all this stuff, the extra stuff, and then maybe it's a bit challenging to teach. But yeah, for Scythe, I really like it because, I don't know, all the factions are very different. Every time you play, your board combination is different because you have the top board of your faction and then the bottom board, which will always mix up certain combinations. Like maybe the top one is production and the bottom one is upgrade. And then maybe the next time might be production, but the bottom one is hire a recruit or something like that. Yes. And I like the recruit stuff as well. So when your neighbors do something, you get a bonus. I also like the fact that you can upgrade all your axes to make them cheaper. The fact that it's basically a race for points. Although I'm not always a fan of that, because sometimes I feel like I'm getting going and someone says, "Oh, I got 6."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What?" So games can sometimes end a bit abrupt. But because even if you see it happening, you might not be able to do much. I think that's the biggest con on the game, that it's a bit difficult to stop people. I mean, you can try and get some territories away from them, but then if you do and they have workers, you lose the hearts of popularity, which then affects your score. I don't know, I still really like it, and I'm surprised. I mean, it used to be 25 apparently, now it's 40, but it's still kind of surprised too that it's that high. But I don't know, it's...
I like the game. I don't love it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the main thing is the lack of interaction.
Yeah.
So there is the tendency for the game sometimes to be kind of on rails if you know the game really well.
Yeah.
Like all the moves are predetermined almost.
Yeah.
And you work out the strategy as you go along. But again, I do like it. I do like the world. I do like the factions. I do like the expansions they came up with were really cool.
Yeah.
And
I think also what I think is cool about the game is that what you just said, I avoid that by always playing random. So I never just choose a faction. Just like in the days of online gaming with StarCraft, I would always do random.
Yes.
And some factions I'm really horrible at, but then I don't really care. Anyway, so that was Scythe. 40.
39.
Is Great Western Trail.
interesting.
Yeah. That was on my shelf of shame for 3 years until I played it like a year and a half ago, finally. And then it was immediately 18 on my previous last year.
Okay.
So now it's 39, it dropped 21 places, but still, I just, when I played it the first time, I was like, why did I not play this earlier? Probably because the box cover looks so stupid.
The new one's nice.
Yeah, I know, but then I'm kind of like, should I buy the new one or not? But at the moment, I just like the fact you're always doing the track.
It's a rondel.
Yeah, it's a rondel.
It's a rondel, yeah.
And then the fact that you can influence it by building buildings and blocking people and then making them pay for stuff. And then the decision of how much you're going to put into cattle, you want to go for other stuff. Then you need to play with the expansion, I feel, because it makes the railroads way more interesting.
Yeah.
And I had this epic game where I knew I was winning. And I knew I just had to go, one of my last 3 turns, I just had to make sure I moved my train one more step and get that one tile, and then it was done. Nobody could stop me, it's fine. And of course, I continued my last 3 turns without doing it, and I lost by 1 point. And I was like, I'll never forget that. But just the fact, the game really, I don't know, and then hiring all the people to give you discounts to make your train go faster, or to get cattle of higher levels and everything, or build buildings cheaper, is it? Yeah, cheaper. Yes, it's just cool, and seeing the board state change. Yeah.
It's a good call. It's not my top 100. I like the game as well.
Yeah.
I'm really bad at it. I'm really, really bad at it. So
it shouldn't stop you from.
It does bother me sometimes. It's a great game.
You should play with other people then, Miguel, and then
True.
you'll be.
Maybe that's why I keep losing. But it's one of those games I feel stupid when I play it, right? Because there's so many moving parts, and
I had that with my first game of Scythe because the whole table knew how to play, and it was my first time.
That's true.
It's one of those games where you do get destroyed, especially in the beginning. Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
as I said, I really do like it, and I'm really interested to see what the new versions are like.
Well, that's kind of my problem. They all have, and it's all seems like slight variants, and then I'm like, do I really need all of them? If it's just a slight variant, it's like, am I going to go to New Zealand or am I going to go to Argentina? I mean, they say it's better, right?
You get sheep. Make it sheep cards. All the different type of sheep.
Should make one with birds, and call it Great Western Wingspan. It's not on your list, is it?
No. Wingspan?
Yeah. No. Okay.
I think
Your turn. 39.
Okay. I know you don't like this game. And I think you're probably the only person in the world who doesn't like this game. Architects of the Mist Kingdom. I think it's a really good game. It's not it's the only one I put in the series. I like the other ones as well, but it's just the elegance of this game. Put the worker down, get what you want, being able to Put another worker there, get more resources from that place, even though it's from Notre Dame, the same similar concept, mechanic from Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you can then, when you become a little too greedy, so you put in too much workers in one spot, and then it allows the other players to go and arrest all your workers and put them in jail. It's just a cool game. And then you get all the workers with the powers. You build the buildings. You got the tracks with when you become good, so you can go to certain locations because you're good, or if you become evil or corrupt, then you can only go to certain places. It's just a well put together game. It's a great game.
Yeah, I mean,
I know.
I'm not going to bash it. I understand why people like it, and I did try it. I tried the solo. I played with other people. Didn't I play with you?
No, you didn't.
Oh, okay. I played with other people as well, and then every time it's just like, I don't know. I guess it just doesn't resonate. I expected more. I don't know what I expected more, but it's just like meh. And in the end, I sold it. But I think most of Shem Phillips' games, well, most of them, the ones that I tried, I feel lukewarm about them. But now I'm giving it a second chance because I'm backing Wayfarers, the reprints together with the dice game that he's now bringing out, which Scholars. I forgot. Yeah, Scholars. Because it seems very interesting. And I do want to try like Paladins and so on because I haven't tried those yet. But because of my previous experiences, I don't want to buy it. So eventually I'll see if I get to it. And I think normally I'm a fan of the Miko, but for some reason in this one, I don't know. I feel it doesn't work as well as usual. I don't know,
You're
man.
You're lose like these 5 subscribers.
Probably, yeah.
5 or 10 subscribers.
How dare you?
I feel like just unsubscribing right now.
I get it. Yeah. I'm surprised you're subscribed.
Now I'm starting to wonder why I am. Jeez. No.
I love architects.
There we are. No, just as a medium weight Euro, I think it's smooth. I really like it.
$38
is a far more heavier Euro, and that's Tricarion.
Ah.
Have you played it?
Well, when I played it, I felt the same as Architect. No, I'm just kidding. I haven't played it. No, I haven't played. I want to, but I haven't had the chance.
It's a Mind Clash game. I really like it. I love their games. Heavy, very thematic, complicated. The boards, it's a busy board. But once you crack that nut of learning the rules, there's so many. The mechanisms are so fun. There's so many moving parts. And the theme is great. I really love this game.
Who's the designer again? Do you know?
I don't know the designer's name.
It's not Lacerda, right? Because it always feels to me when I look at it, it feels like a Lacerda that didn't come from Lacerda.
No, it feels like a Lacerda game because it's thematic, yet there's certain weird mechanics. Like I don't know. Okay, it's difficult to explain it, but when the mechanic of how you do your shows with cards and you've got to put them in certain shapes and you put your tokens in. It's a little strange. Yeah. It's difficult to wrap your head around how the mechanics work. But once
you have the expansion, right?
Yes.
It's a must.
The Dark Alleys one is a must.
Yeah.
That gives you extra space to go.
Yeah.
Then there's also it's like a university track.
Because it's the expansion that's always available. It's the basic game that's not always available to buy. Because I almost bought it a while ago, but in the end I was like, no.
And I really love the aesthetic of it too.
Yeah.
That I know it's beige, but it feels like a world on the map.
It's your favorite color.
Yes. It's just I don't know. Just then you get the best part about the game is like there's different you get a book of tricks. There's only one. Yeah. You can only get one of them.
Okay.
So you're competing for the same trick.
Oh, cool.
To buy it. So you get like a book, like a recipe book of all the tricks. So you all know which one you want to get before the other person, so you can try and work out what they want. No, it's a heavy game, but it's worth the investment, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I've been wanting to play for a long time already. It looks really, really awesome. But I guess the people watching know because of the pictures. Okay. All right. So it's my 38, right?
It was my 38.
Yes. So mine now, yeah. So pretty sure this is not on your list. I don't even know if you have it. Maybe you do, but I don't think so. Waste Nights.
I have it.
Ah, yeah.
I haven't played it yet. I'm surprised you like it.
I really like it because basically it's Waterworld, right? I mean, not without the water, maybe. Mad Max. Yeah, Waterworld is coming, but Mad Max basically. and all that, like Borderlands all mixed together, whatever. In Australia, I just really like the setting. I like the stories.
Yes.
It's difficult. It's really not easy, but it's basically you're starting out with a specific story in the book, right? And then you read the story. There's certain points on the map where you have to go. But I already like the fact that you start out with a vehicle and then a different person that you combine. That's already cool. And then you collect stuff along the way. You can decide if you want to scavenge, if you want to do other stuff. And at one point, when you reach the finale, it's a bit like Destinies, where it's like a longer story where full of challenges that you need to be prepared for. And then and even if you fail, there's also an ending where you fail. There's different endings to each story. I mean, there's one story where there's a giant robot romping around the wasteland and you have to figure out what's going on and stuff like that. I just really like it. There's so many different characters as well you can play as, different people. You can play multiplayer or solo.
This game is on my super shelf of shame because I've painted it, but never played it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, let's just swap. You give me a more painted
I
version.
think you deserve it more than I do, yeah.
And you can sell my copy. But yeah, definitely the expansion I'm looking forward to as well, because it's like Waterworld, different places to go to. And I think I've played 2 stories out of the scenarios only.
And does it play smoothly solo?
Yeah, I feel like it does. But it can sometimes be difficult because in the end, when you're fighting, it's rolling dice.
Okay.
So if you're unlucky, it can sometimes be like,
Does it feel like Fallout? Does it feel like a Fallout game?
It feels like Fallout is story-wise, I would say Fallout is a snack and then Waste Night is the main course. Because Fallout is just cards, right? It's just a little bit of text always. Well, it ends up being a longer story, but then with Waste Nights, I feel more urgency and everything. Like Fallout is just like, I'm gonna go wherever I want. But then Waste Night is like, go.
And when you play multiplayer, is it competitive or
No, together.
Cooperative.
No, together. So co-op. It's not competitive. Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, like I remember one of the scenarios where there were. You saw, I think it was 2 people escaping in different directions or whatever. And then when you're solo, you just pick one and you walk around, whatever, you have more time. But then with more people, you say, okay, you go that way, I'll go that way. And then there's different stories. But of course, if you separate and there's battles, you're weaker. So it's like a choice as well. And then even with your vehicle, it matters because you can get a motorcycle when you're a lot lighter, you can't carry as much. But then you can go over certain type of terrain better. If you have a bigger truck or whatever, you might have to stick to the road. It's cool. Really cool. It's
I want to play it.
Yeah. I really like it. Yeah. Even though I think the name, no offense, Waste Nights, but I think the name is kind of stupid. But because it makes me think of garbage, Waste Nights. But
especially Wasteland.
Yeah, I know that's where it comes from. But I think of other kinds of waste. Number 7. Oh wait. Number 37.
Yeah.
So my 37, I think you've said it already on your list earlier. Gloomhaven.
Yeah.
You've said it, right? So it's another crossover.
Yes.
I think we're at 4 or 5. 4, I think.
And you said 15, right? Yeah.
Yeah, 15. So Gloomhaven, it's been documented before. I think that really innovative system. Really like the system, but it's been like more than a year now since I played. I do feel like if you find the right group to play, it's really nice. Solo, I feel like it's a bit lacking because you don't have that
tension.
That tension.
Yeah.
Also certain life goals or whatever they're called, destinies or whatever, are more difficult to do when you're solo, when you play solo, because some of them really rely on people exhausting or whatever, and then you're trying to do it on purpose. It's a bit weird. And the battle goals as well work not as well solo. Because it's really funny if you are with a group of people and your battle goal is like, I have to kill someone first, but they're not supposed to know. It's like, I'll take it. No, really. Just let me do it. I mean, I got a really good car or whatever. It's just like, no, don't make me say it or whatever. Or you have to stay alongside the walls and like, why are you on the other side of the room? No reason. So, but if you're solo, that's not funny. It's just weird.
It's just weird, yeah.
Yeah. So there is the banter and so on. I like the road events. I like when you retire that those characters come back in the game. I like the whole stickering and exploring and the side quests. I mean, it's really, really well done. And Frosthaven is not part of this yet because I haven't played it yet. But I'm hoping soon. Although I don't know, it's such a bear to play. So I don't know. Part of me is like, no, play Jaws of the Lion first, then Gloomhaven, and then Frosthaven. But then it's gonna be 2035, I think.
If you're lucky.
Yes. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with Frosthaven yet. Yeah. So we'll see. But I invested in it because I got the updated terrain pack. I've got the inserts. Yeah. When I play, it's with all the terrain, trees, chests, everything. It's not just a board.
Okay. Are you gonna back the miniatures campaign when they come?
Maybe, because if I'm going that far, I might as well.
The miniatures, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, you have to have a good group to play, and then it really shines. Solo, it's acceptable, but I think that's why it's going down because it used to be number 2, then 21, and now 37. Okay, time for number 36.
37.
Your 37.
My
Yes.
37. My 37 is a game. I really do love this game. It's really enjoyable. It's flawed, but it's just when I play it, I have fun, and that's Tapestry.
Oh yeah.
Have you played Tapestry?
No.
The game is kind of broken at times, but that's part of the fun. Like sometimes a person will have a broken combo, and everyone at the table knows, okay, this game is over, but you keep going because you're having fun with your own little engine, your own little system. I don't know how well you know the game.
Well, I only know from what I've heard that the theme isn't really there.
No, but
it's not balanced.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, it's very lightly themed civilization, but then most civilizations are so.
It looks
abstract.
pretty. I'll tell you that.
Really
I'll give you that.
But what happens is you get your own faction with its own powers, and then every round you play a tapestry card, which gives you extra power.
Okay.
Okay. So what happens is the factions are not balanced. Okay. So you try to balance them. Like the one faction the way you balance it by just saying, you start with the extra 50 points.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's how unbalanced it was.
Yeah.
But so he's been working on balancing the powers.
Yeah.
But you cannot balance the combos.
Yeah.
Because they're so random, and certain cards just work with certain characters, certain powers, with certain civilizations.
But that was the thing with Scythe as well, that they have to say certain combinations of boards are not allowed.
And again, Viticulture also has some totally broken cards, right?
Yeah.
So Stonemaier hasn't got the best reputation for balance.
Who likes playtesting anyway?
Even Wingspan, the egg strategy in Wingspan is kind of crazy too.
Yeah.
So, but if you ignore the fact that there's balance issues, it is a really fun game.
Definitely better than Architects because it's higher on your list.
Yes, I would say that.
Yeah.
If I were to choose one, I'd play Tapestry.
I remember someone saying, maybe it was online, whatever, that the game was almost over, like round or 2 left or whatever, not that much, I don't know. And then they drew a card or endgame scoring, and it was like, okay, it looks like I'm going to win. Because they came out and gave them a ton of points, even though it's just accidental.
But lots of games do that. It's not the only game that does that. But
that's true.
But as I said, why are we ultimately here? Are we here to test our wits and just use the smartest person at the table, or to have fun?
I'm here to desperately find friends.
And failing. Someone needs to be honest. But the thing is, Tapestry is just fun. You know, it's a really cool game.
Well, because of all the things you said is the reason why I never bought it. I'm just being honest,
It's your loss.
Because we have such limited space already. I try to get the stuff that's better than Architect. Okay.
That's me, so.
Yeah. 36 now.
My 36 is Gugong. Which is what you already mentioned.
Yes.
Okay. It's just, again, just really I think it's what we said before. It's just streamlined. It's such a clever. It's interesting. Like, okay, first thing, it's drop dead gorgeous. It's a gorgeous board. Even the box is beautiful. The New Year's expansion. Did you look at the Saturn box?
Yes.
It's
Very, very
stunning.
beautiful. Yeah.
So it's just a beautiful game, and I love the fact that they had a unique mechanic, which is the player card to pick up a card, and they tied it to the theme.
Yes.
And it's just so clever. You kind of wonder, did they get the idea from the theme, or did they shoehorn the theme onto the mechanic? But either way, it just works. It doesn't feel, like I said, like Tricarion has this really bizarre mechanic with where you work out your shows.
Yeah.
That's, when you look at it, that doesn't make any sense. When you look at the mechanic versus what's going on theme.
Yeah.
But it's a puzzle. But the puzzle's fun still in Tricarion. Here, the puzzle.
And I think you can
makes
also say because you have to get to the top of the temple to be. I think that's also quite thematic. If you imagine that the emperor is there to give the gifts or whatever.
Exactly, and I like that. But again, especially an expansion, which I think you haven't played yet.
I haven't, but I haven't played it. Yeah.
They make it more difficult because that was the whole thing. It's sometimes
it's quite easy to go up. Yeah,
and so they made it more difficult. So it becomes more of an issue in the game, more situation in the game. I played it recently. It's just.
Have you tried the solo mode?
No.
Me neither.
But I want to. But it's just that there's all these different areas to go to, different worker spots. And
the double worker.
The double worker. And each of them are interesting in different ways, and you can go into certain strategies.
And even with because I remember that when we played together with the wall, that people are always jumping over each other and pushing people up.
There's interaction with the wall.
I thought that was really cool.
Timing it.
Yeah.
And it's not heavy game. I wouldn't call it a heavy game. It's medium weight.
Yeah.
But there's lots of interesting decisions, a lot of interaction. It's just a great Euro game.
And the people, everyone I've played it with, that the no friends I have, all those people, they really enjoyed it. And it hasn't gone down badly so far.
No, I agree. Everyone who plays it likes it.
They always want to play again, but then I said, I have too many games, we play something else.
Sure.
No, I don't say that. We play again.
You should.
Yeah, of course. All right, so my 36 then, right, is a new entry. Pretty high, but then there's going to be a lot of new entries pretty high. And that is Deep Rock Galactic.
Okay.
So you saw me play it here once solo when I was recording it. And based on the video IP of Deep Rock Galactic, basically you're a bunch of dwarves mining, trying to get all different types of ore and so on. And basically it's just a whole series of missions. You drop down, you get out, you get the stuff you need, you get back. But as you're doing it, the threat meter is going up and the critters come out, all different kinds. The sculpts, the minis look amazing. Yeah. And it's just cool. I feel like you have many games like this, but I feel it's like more like almost, I wouldn't say beer and pretzel game, but it's just fun. Like if you're playing a gunner, you have you can just roll dice, and as long as you hit something, you keep firing, which is just typical in a game. Like you go you don't stop, stuff like that. So I feel it's very thematic. During your mission, you can upgrade your weapons, which mostly doesn't, but many games allow you at the end for your next mission. But here it's just like, oh no, you mine some of the red ones, which I'm sorry, Deep Rock fans, I forgot the name. Something with, whatever. And then you can instantly upgrade your weapon while you're just there. You can have a drop pod fall down with extra ammo and all the stuff. Even if you're down on health, people can come down and revive you. It's not you're out of the game or whatever. It feels like the video game. Because I played the video game quite a bit as well now. Back when I played it first, it was less so, but it's just fun. And I can understand people who play it always shout "rock and stone" because that's what they constantly do. And it's really awesome. It's just the theme. It looks nice. It looks very beautiful.
Yes.
It's straightforward, nothing too complicated, and so I was really impressed by it. And I want to play it also with higher player counts and so on.
Did it come with expansions?
I don't think so. I think I got the full edition. They did have a problem with the plastic bits that are still on the way. But aside from that, there's a small expansion. Sorry, the gooey critters that when you get stuck with the goo dish and so on, it's more difficult to run away and so on. But it does feel like crap when certain monsters come out because they might be immune to certain weapon damage. So you want to make sure if you load out, you have different types of weapons available so you can switch on the fly and stuff like that.
So that game deserves to be painted.
Many does. Yeah. I'll tell my kids to go to sleep at 5. So I have to.
You can train them to paint.
Oof. They're a bit too young for that.
number 35.
And that is Street Masters. Was 28, now it's 35, by Blacklist Games,
Yes.
which for many people are now blacklisted because they literally the games are in China, a couple of kilometers away in a warehouse stuck, like the expansions and everything. So, but luckily I already had a bunch of expansions, so it's not like I can't play it. I still have a lot of variety as it is, but I always want more. But basically, the premise of the game is very simple. You have one or two or more fighters. There's one boss, and you have to kill the boss or defeat the boss. And it feels a lot like not Street Fighter, but the side-scrolling fighters.
Yes,
Because there's always minions coming out. There's not only the minions that fight you, but there's also terrain stuff that will affect you. The boss has its own deck that might cause things. There's objectives on the map that the boss might go to or try to get or whatever, or you might try to get it. There's loot boxes, which is pretty cool because there's all those funny things like Nike trainers, well, it looks like Nike trainers that gives you extra kick. And as you're fighting, even if people punch you, you build up energy. And then at one point you can flip it, and then you're like power, like the regular video games, right? And then you can do more powerful attacks. And then even the cards that you play every round are important because some cards are instant, then they might do damage, but other cards basically allow you to build up your power slowly. We have to think, like, do you want to do damage now or do you want to build up slowly or whatever? And for example, sometimes it's also just funny. The first boss has a rocket launcher, so you don't have to spread out. But if you're close enough to him, he'll literally hit himself. So there's been games where I won where he just blew himself up. But then I had enough health too. Because the tokens you get when you take damage, you can also gain tokens in general to block certain damages. So yeah, it just really works well. It's not easy, especially since certain characters are more suited for tanking, some more for support and so on. But and there's a lot of nods to typical fighting games and characters. And now the Street Fighter that's coming out seems quite similar.
It's the same system.
Similar-ish. It's not the same. I want it too, but also because it's Street Fighter. But
You're backing it.
Yeah, it's different enough. I feel. I don't feel like it's the same. So yeah. Okay. Yeah. That is.
Yes, I actually got
Street
the
Masters.
Brook City.
From the same people, right?
That's it, the same system. Just with there's a cop. It's like a cop. Version of it. So it's also the minions have their own deck. The boss has his own deck. There's a mission deck or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. Adam and Brady Sadler, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. You're 35.
My 35 is Lorenzo Al Magnifico.
I've never played it.
You have played it?
No. One of my shameful. One of the games on my list of shame that I haven't played.
Yes. It's just, again, it's one that is, if anything from Cranio, they also hit my sweet spot, like we said, Barrage and another game that can play these designers. And it's just, it's tight, you never have enough money, never enough resources to get what you want to do. It's got this very clever, like, you basically trying to buy cards from 3 towers. 3 or 4, I can't remember now, 3 or 4, and you're buying the cards, but they get more expensive the further you go up.
But it's pretty difficult, right?
Yeah, it's a difficult game. It's not as heavy as a Lasada game, but it's a heavy game.
Because a friend of mine played it, and she said, I didn't even know how to score points in the beginning.
No, what happens is you got on your tableau, if I remember correctly, you got like different rows, which there's different ways to score points. So you get like a set collecting one, you get an engine that you get 2 different engines that you trigger different ways. So you got to plan ahead. So you're trying to get the card that fits perfectly for your engine. Yeah. And you're competing, but you can only you can only send your worker there. And there's plus the dice. You roll the dice, and that determines how far up the tower you can go. You go further, you got to pay more money. It's one of those Euro games where resources are so tight. Yeah. And decisions are very difficult to make because the resources are tight. Because you're competing, you can't get everything you want. You're trying to make money here so you can go over there, but then at the same time, if you take that time, someone else is going to go there.
So it's basically one of those games where you really benefit from multiple plays because in the beginning it's going to be quiet.
Any games like that, right?
Yeah. Well.
But Yeah, I agree. It is. Because it's always the same cards that come out, but they come in different order. So yes, you can learn the cards, and you can learn how to trigger the engine, or which character will help you here or there.
Yeah.
But it's just when you want a Euro to be tight. You want to sit there and struggle and think, and then because I'm more of a tactical player than a strategic player. I like the constraints of that moment to work around it. Where someone like Miguel, he likes to think 5 steps ahead.
Yeah.
I like to think of the first 2. I like to have the puzzle of that moment.
Yeah.
And I work around the puzzle. So when the dice come, I see the number of the dice. I see my situation, my thing. I see the board, ways come out this round, and I work around that. I like that tight, sudden puzzle.
Well, like I said, it's on my list of shame, not my shelf of shame because I don't own it. But it's like one of those games that everybody should have played.
If you like Newton, I think this is much better than Newton. I think you'd enjoy it. I think it's a better game than Newton, even though I do love Newton as well.
Yeah.
It's over there, actually. It's on the board there. I was looking at it.
I'll take it home.
We should just break it up now and play instead of doing this video.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that monster there?
Yeah. Hegemony is there.
Hegemony is
Anyway.
34.
Another one that we've agreed on, Orleans.
Another one.
Yeah, unfortunately. I'm getting a little bit more worried now because I was at 6 now.
7.
7. Yeah. Okay. No, Orleans. It's everything you said and more. It's just a great game. It's just a clever way to do a deck builder, right? You're going to see they were thinking of a deck builder, but they used the bag builder, and you pull your worker out and you place the work on the board. I love the aesthetic, that old medieval type art is just fits. I love the traveling on the side, traveling across France and picking up the resources. I love the tension of putting the guy out and buying the worker, and he never comes out.
Because if you buy too many, then especially if you have your board in front of you and you say, I just need that one person.
He never comes out.
Nope.
So I buy a warrior, and who knows where this warrior is, right?
Exactly.
He never comes out. The fact that you can get your own personal buildings, it's cool. Though that is also probably the major flaw of the game, that I have to house rule. Because in the original game, the whole pile sits there, especially
it takes too long. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because in the original game, all the pile sits there, and you can choose anyone from that pile.
Yeah.
Especially when you get the promos, the piles like this one.
Yes,
this tall.
exactly.
So what I do is I just have a river. I just make like 5 come out, and you go choose from those 5.
Yeah, like a river or
like
whatever.
a normal game.
Yeah.
But because everyone sits there and they'll go for the one they really want, and then you get their combo. But besides that, I'm surprised he hasn't done more. He did this one, and soon after he did Altoplano, and that was it. I mean, he hasn't had any.
Because he's rich now.
Probably.
I don't know.
But it's, as you say, everything you said and more. It's just
Orleans is Rainer Stockhausen.
sarcasm. I can't think of any other game he's made. He made that like Orleans like legacy type game.
Stories.
Stories, that was it.
Yeah.
Never played it, but no, it's just such a clever game.
And especially when you upgrade it with all the different bells and whistles.
Well, I've got those chips, plastic chips
You
on.
can get the resources as well, like the cheese and the wine and everything to put on the. It's on Etsy.
On Etsy.
Yeah.
Have you got it?
No. No.
No. But anyway, they're Orleans.
But it's there. All right. That was 34, right?
Yep.
Okay, mine it's definitely not on your list. Might be a roll eye, but Championship Formula Racing.
Racing game.
Another racing game. Is it the last one? Who knows? Maybe not. Maybe so. So CFR in short, I did a video list on that, and I think it got an average of 50 views.
I wonder why.
It's very obscure. Like even the rule videos, when you find it, it's just a guy with like a piece of paper saying, and you do this and this and this. It's a designer doing it, right? But the reason why I like it, first of all, I got into Formula One because of Drive to Survive on Netflix. I mean, I used to like it when I was younger, but then that kind of reignited it.
Do you ever go to Spa?
Huh?
Do you ever go to Spa?
Well, I might go this summer, but I think probably sold out already. We'll see. But the thing is, I really wanted to have a race game that felt like a real racing game. And that one has it because you have to really, before you start racing, you have to balance your car. Like top speed, starting speed. You have the different gears will give you different tokens, bunch of cards. Also your acceleration and deceleration speeds. So you can have a car that goes super fast but slows down really slowly, and then you're going to crash and it's going to be all messed up. So that's why they did like a points. You have to stick within a certain amount of points to not create a stupid car or whatever.
Okay.
But then anyway, people are bound to not end up with the same car. And even if you do, it doesn't even matter, because every time it's your turn, you have to choose your speed out of a deck of cards. Actually, you don't even need, you can just have a dial, and we might probably make it easier. But you have a deck of cards, you say, okay, I'm driving 120 now, I'm going to choose 160, and then everybody reveals, and then you'll see like, oh, that person's speeding up, or no, that one slowed down, now I have a problem because they might be blocking me or whatever. And then you spend tokens to slow down even more, and so on. But if you run out of tokens, you might skid, so there's a lot of tactical choices when you're going around. And it's not like Flamme Rouge where you can just run out of cards or whatever, because you just keep going. You might run out of tokens, but then you just go, you don't suddenly become super slow. It's still just your car's basic speed that goes. And the slower your car, the more tokens you have, which means you'll be able to go faster through the corners. So depending on the track, you can also adjust your car, or you can be honest, I guess, and say, okay, one car and we do 4 tracks. But it's a lot more interactive as well, because you really want to know what people are doing. And it really feels like a real race.
Is the game still being supported?
No.
New tracks, nothing.
No. There are, yes, by the community. So you can download tracks, but then you have to print it yourself, and then so on. And there's also a guy who has made extra custom decks and drivers that you can download. Yeah, because on my playthrough you can see it's like paper, some of them. Because I'm racing with Fittipaldi and Emerson and so on, Emerson Fittipaldi and Senna and so on. I don't know if I put Senna in, but all those AI drivers, they also race differently. So yeah, I really like racing. And
how many AI drivers will there be? Can there be in the game?
I think the full is 12. I think.
Wow. And each will have their own deck if you want to have.
Yeah. But yeah, you have to get the decks then. Yeah. I think I have 8 AI decks, but it doesn't really matter because they don't have you just need to have the numbers.
Yeah.
You can just have a dial and have as many as you want. Just the limit is the amount of cars, I guess, and the colors.
That's cool.
So yeah, that was my number 34.
Number 33.
That is Obsession. Do you have Obsession?
Yes, I do.
Not
on my list.
On your list. Okay. I think one of the reasons why I love Obsession so much is it's one of the few rare games my wife likes. And just the theme kind of shines through, and it's kind of funny. The pictures, in the beginning I was like, am I really going to like it? But people said, oh, my girlfriend likes it, a lot of stuff like that, so I'll give it a shot. But I really like the game myself as well. I played it solo as well. And same thing again, just the choices that you have, because every round you have to use your guests, send them somewhere, do something for them, like have a tea party in the garden or whatever. And then you upgrade everything, try to increase your popularity or your standing so that the Fairchilds eventually might choose you to be their friends. See, it's a game for me to try to get friends. I do have friends.
Do you lose again then?
So many times. And then there's also guests who are actually really horrible. They might give you some stuff, but then negative points at the end. I bought the stickers, so for
the meeples.
Yeah, so make it even nicer. And then the expansion I haven't tried yet, but I'm keen on trying it because I have it. And just the choice you have to make every time. And then at one point you can say, okay, I'm basically almost skipping this turn to get all my cards back. And then it's like, wow, so many options. So it's like an engine, right? You want to keep your guests coming, but at one point, if you reset, it's just really cool that you can reuse them all again. And you can choose a shorter version, longer version. And there's fair bit of strategy of when you do what to get more money and whatnot. And also the trying to get the tiles that you need for your secrets, scoring, and so on. Yeah.
I just wish they had art. I really wish there was art, because the game would just be
I mean the tiles.
No,
more?
even the cards. I don't like that.
But they're just they're just old people.
Old.
But they're real people.
Can you imagine how much the game would be even better if it was beautiful?
Yeah, I do see that.
The tiles don't look like a living room
Okay, the tiles I agree, but then the cards, I think a lot of people like that because they're like
because they haven't seen the art either.
look at this
Because
guy.
It was art would be even better. Come on, if you had a choice.
I do agree with the board as well. The board is like it seems like just a picture with some squares on it.
It is.
And-
It is just
yeah.
a bunch of squares on it.
And then the tiles, I
Tiles
agree
are
as well.
just names and. Come on, it looks like a
But then-
print shop.
But then it's not.
shop job.
It's not that. It's not that surprising because it's a self-published game.
Yes, but they don't have self-published games with art.
Yeah, but yeah, it depends on how much.
Especially when the game became so popular, they could have. I don't know. I just think the game would just be even better if it was more aesthetically beautiful.
Yeah, certain areas for sure.
And those tiny cards was stupid.
Yeah. But yeah. I play with both.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, I guess
it's
it's
great.
cheaper, right? So.
But it's a great game. No, actually, I think it's very more expensive because it's difficult to get them to cut it. Because it's I don't know.
It's a machine. By hand.
Okay, so 33.
Yeah.
My 33 is Cyclades. Do you like it?
That's my number one. That's not true. I like it, but I don't own it, so it's not on here.
Okay. It's one of them. It's probably one of my. It's not the best, but it's one of my favorite war games. Haven't painted it because the new edition's coming out. It's going to go to Kickstarter.
Yes.
I'm really excited about that. The thing about the game, besides the theme, the Greek gods, which is a really cool theme, is that auction mechanic. It is. So you played it, right?
Yeah, we're talking about at least 11 years ago.
Okay. But that auction mechanic is awesome.
Uh-huh.
The one where
I remember liking it, but
when you bid, if someone bids above you, then you can rebid, but you can't bid in the same row. So maybe you trying to make someone commit to this one there, so you can go somewhere else and get it for cheap.
yeah.
But sometimes you might be stuck. And I like the fact that only one person can sail this turn. Only one person can attack this turn.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
the different wind
okay.
conditions. It's just
And the god powers,
The
right?
god powers, yeah. So you're basically bidding for the god powers,
Yeah.
but like you all need to sail to set up your troops. You all need to attack to win what you need. You all need to be able to build on certain places, but you all can't do it at the same time.
And you had the philosophers as well.
Yeah, the philosophy is it's like the one that no one wants, but then ultimately that could win you the game because that's another way to build a city.
Yeah.
Polis.
So what are they going to change with the Kickstarter? Bigger
That's the one thing I'm a little bit worried about. Well, it's a new company, same designer. They did say they're going to streamline the mechanics, and that worries me because they said they're going to streamline the bidding mechanic, and I really like the bidding mechanics. I hope they don't spoil it,
Yeah.
but we'll see. New art, new miniatures.
Streamlining can mean many things. So.
But as I said, I love the fact that it's not just everyone attacks and rolls dice. It's more like the bidding is important, and I really need to move this turn. I really need to win that god, or I can see the guy that wants to attack me this turn, so I've got to stop, make sure he doesn't win the attack.
Yeah, exactly.
Ares. So you bid much in Ares, and you start holding your cornucopia, which allows you to do more things. It's everything about it I love. It's in that series of the Kemet series.
Yeah, but I definitely like it more than Kemet because I played Kemet, but I wasn't really impressed. I mean, I thought it was okay. It's better than Architects. Anyway, so
It's me. Well, let me do it before you say something else.
Next number 32.
My 32 is Yokohama.
that's the huge board, right?
It's actually lots of tiles.
Yeah,
It becomes a board.
Yeah.
Um,
The most intimidating game ever.
it's busy. It's not that. It's actually not that difficult once you understand it. It's basically a pick up and deliver game.
Yeah, but people when they see it for the first time,
Yeah, it's busy. It's busy.
it's like
It's busy. It's colorful. So you look at the board and you don't know where you're starting.
it's just like Japan.
But it's the whole point of like you pick up your work and you move them. You basically work out routes
Yeah.
and you leave work. You put workers in certain places, and then the more workers you have there, when you land there, you can do bigger action. So you're planning ahead.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to have. So the whole point is that you have your main worker that triggers the location, and you get little workers, smaller workers, agents that you put in locations that help you then when you go there make the move more powerful. So you place a guy here, and you keep you're thinking ahead. Okay, I need four more guys there. So I'm putting a guy here, I'm putting a guy here, and you're thinking ahead for when you want to make a power move.
Okay.
But the thing is, the more agents you have in a location, you have less agents to do other things.
Yeah.
It's just it's one of those games that just click for me. I always lose at Greatest Control. This is one game I do really well in.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those games that just I get. And I really enjoy getting it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
And the aesthetic, it's not an outrageously beautiful game, but it does work.
Yeah, it sounds very interesting. For sure.
No, it's I would recommend anyone to play it as well. So I have on the list.
Yeah, because a while ago it was on sale on Amazon as well, and I thought about it.
No.
But then I was like, this is one of the games like Great Western Trail that will probably be on my shelf for years before I finally.
No, I think you really enjoy it.
But it's also from the time when there were not solo.
I was about to say there's no solo. I was thinking about it. Oh, the cool little solo, but there's no solo on it. And also, it's got tech. You can buy tech cards, and you buy different I love pick up and deliver games, right? I think it ties into my tactical, the way I like tactical games. I think holding a pick up and deliver. So you have a contract. How am I going to sort this contract out? And so you start looking at the board. No, it's a really good game. That's my 32.
Well, I really feel like we're getting into the really, really good games now. My 32, I don't know I think you mentioned it already. I'm pretty sure you've mentioned it already. Huh?
Let's hope not.
It's Anachrony. You mentioned it already?
No.
No? Oh, it's still coming. So, Anachrony from Mind Clash Games, of course.
Yes.
Used to be 15, now it's 32, so went down as well. But yeah, it's just time travel. When you think about Anachrony, you think about the mechs, of course. And the fact that you can just put your worker in and you put it out, do the action. And then the cool part is you can basically get more resources.
It's a loan.
It's a loan because then you have to go back in time to pay it off. Otherwise, they'll get you into trouble later on.
Which technically what a loan is anyway.
Yeah. True. It's just a fancy way of taking a loan. It's true. But then it also forces you, in this case, in other games when you have a loan, you just pay it back. But here you have to make sure you build a time machine. Because if you don't have any, if other people keep taking it, then it's like, man, I just need one, okay? Just give it to me.
Man.
Or you can only go back one spot because it's not powerful enough, so you need to have more and stuff like that. And then you have the different factions with their different abilities. Like some people can have more mechs after the cataclysm or whatever that happens near the end.
Oh, I want to play this game now. I want to play this game so badly now. I haven't played it for a long time. Just talking about it makes me want to go play it.
Yeah, and then also the fact of giving them water is the currency, and also letting them sleep. If you don't let them sleep, they get more annoyed.
The scientists, yeah.
They get more annoyed, but then you can still use them.
Have you played the expansions?
No, and actually that's true, because somebody said, I'm happy I have the base game of Anachrony, because with the Infinity Box, it would be too much. It's too intimidating to get everything out and everything.
No such thing.
But for me now, I always play the base game because I always play with new people, right? And then solo I haven't tried it. Apparently solo is really good as well. And then I guess that I could do that and then try the expansions and everything. But yeah, just brilliant game. So many options. Also a lot of interaction, as in you're going where I want to go and stuff like that. And also the fact that you have to show which resources you do every round to see if you go back or not. And you're like, oh no, you have less than me now, but more. No. Yeah. So that's also a thing. Yeah.
And the buildings, you're building your own buildings and
the line, yeah. And then
such a good game.
The stuff can go in the middle of right and block spots and everything. Yeah, but I'll leave something for you to say eventually. All right, so that was my number 32. And then now 31. I'm pretty sure this should be on your list. If it's not on your list, then you're the one with the shitty list. Is the Gallerist.
We said that we spoke
Oh
about it.
yeah,
I forgot
yeah,
to put
you
it in.
forgot to put it in. Yeah,
forgot to put it in.
he's got a shitty list.
Yeah. I went with the escape plan.
Technically, it's in. So if it's a 15 tie, I win with the crossovers. So the gallerist, yeah, Vito Lasorda, of course, very thematic in general. You support artists and then try to boost them up and then sell their paintings for profit. The fact they use real paintings from around the world is already cool. But just the action is always, whenever you do an action, you can decide when you leave that action to leave one of your assistants behind. And then whenever somebody else goes there, you can still do the action, which is really annoying if you're playing with someone who plays well, because there's always a freaking assistant there and you're like, so they can kind of predict where you're going maybe. I like the tickets. They're like nice, big and chunky, the ones that you collect, and then you can use them to get more to move customers around and into your gallery.
All of the Lacerda Eagle Griffin games are just, the production is amazing.
Yeah, and it makes sense as well. You got the little easels as well where you put it on. It's really cool. And I remember playing it the first time and I was actually quite good at it. So I was surprised. I also always, when I play this game, it finishes, I'm like, I wish I could keep going. It's like, oh, it's over? Oh, too bad.
What's the solo like?
The solo is also like somebody is playing as Vital, I think this is his own name that he's using, but he's also just moving around and blocking spaces most of the time, I think. Yeah, it's been a while since I played solo, but I think it's mostly blocking spaces. They're not scoring or whatever.
Okay.
I think so. So, and they might also move stuff around to block you. But yeah, just the whole thing, it makes sense, like you can't do stuff out of order, it's not gonna work. You need to do it in certain ways and the more people, the tighter it gets because of the typical Euro then. Nice, thematic, really like it, really like the way
It's
it
probably
looks.
one of these lighter ones too compared to these other Euros. It's not as heavy as...
Yeah, but I haven't played all of his though, so I don't know. Well, yeah, there's other games. 31 for you?
Okay, my 31... I still was between 30 and 31. I can't decide which one's which. Let's just go with I think I'm gonna swap them around in my original list. My number 31 is Adventures of Marco Polo.
Oh, one or two or both.
They're the same game. Two variants.
Yeah.
Again, just that sweet spot. It's not too heavy like a Lacerda game, but it's not too light. It's a upper medium weight Euro, which I really enjoy, that you can knock out in say 2 hours. The player powers it was one of the first games where player powers was a focal point of the game. You played the game, right?
Yeah, because I remember how excited you were the first time it came out. You were like, and it breaks the game.
And it's fun. I think
it is.
there's something about player powers that just whenever there's a player power, it just makes the game better.
Yeah, when you're jealous, right? When you're like, oh, how come you can do this? And yeah, but you can do that. Oh, that's true.
And
but I
then
still want your power.
And then the thing with player powers, every time you get the game, you get a new power. It's like a new game.
Yeah.
And you get the lame powers of, you get an extra green cube or something. You get those lame ones, right?
Yeah.
Like, whenever you go here, you get extra resource. No, this is like groundbreaking.
Yeah, you have to pay one action to move. I can fly wherever I want.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not just that it's fun to do something no one else can do, but also the fact that every time you play the game, it's a different game. And also when you watch someone else use a power, you think to yourself, how would I use that power different?
Yeah.
And you're excited to go try that new power out, or you decide to use the same power next time so you can do better.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
it's just one of those games where player power is such a fundamental part of the game. The other thing I love about Marco Polo is how tight it is. The resources are so tight.
Yeah.
So every decision is a struggle. You never have enough money to do what you want. You never have enough resources to do the contracts. The use of the dice drafting, or you roll your own dice and you place them, dice placement, is again so tight.
Yeah.
Every time I play the game, my brain is hurting because there's so many things I've got to think about, and I'm always frustrated, and that's a good feeling to have.
Yeah, for sure. Because I remember enjoying it, but back then I wasn't buying that many games back then. Because I played it once or twice. I think definitely twice. Because one of the games I was the guy who could just fly anywhere, which was, and then it's a pain the next game because you have somebody else, and suddenly you can't fly anywhere anymore.
No.
And you're like,
so used to.
So,
exactly. What you mean.
yeah, for sure.
And you
For
say,
sure.
but I don't know. I just again, it hits that sweet spot for me.
Mm.
It's just a pretty game, and also get you. I love traveling. So I think it's got the travel. You know, you're literally
Yeah.
traveling on the board, and like a pick up and deliver. You get the contracts,
The camels.
the camel resources,
Yeah.
and it's the powers, everything. It's everything I love about a good Euro.
Okay.
So my number
31, right?
31.
So that's it.
No, I got one more. That was my 31. Now I got my. Oh, we need to do, of course. The 31,
That's
so
it. Yeah.
That's it then.
You gotta keep something for the other 3 videos.
Fair enough.
So next time will be 30 to 21, and then yeah, 3 more to go, and we're almost there.
Yeah, good stuff.
See you next time. My name was Joachim,
Hey, Evangelos.
and it's just so many games all the time.
Till next
Bye
time.
bye.